Good morning, everyone. My name is Marcel Sierra. I am the Chief Operating Officer at GS1 Australia. And on behalf of GS1 and on the NGTAC Steering Committee, I would like to welcome everybody to this morning's webinar. Before we start, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the various lands on which we meet and work today, and any First Nations people that might be participating in this meeting. Specifically, we acknowledge the people of the Kulin and Owara nations where GS1 offices are located, and we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We recognize and celebrate the diversity of First Nations people and their ongoing cultures and connections to the lands and waters across Australia. A little bit of housekeeping for this morning's meetings. We ask that during the meeting that you all be present, collaborative, and considerate, and then you use the Q&A function to pose any questions to the speakers, and specifically during the panel session where we'll have a specific Q&A session. We will, of course, like to thank all of our distinguished guests and speakers today, as well as the associations that have assisted us in coordinating this session. But I do want to specifically express our gratitude to Diane Tippin from the Export Council of Australia, and to Vincent Annunziato from US Customs and Border Protection, without whom today would have not been possible. So thank you very much to Diane and Vincent. So a little bit about today's session. Today is really all about trade. Trade is at the center of government policy and business interests. Trade creates opportunities for industry, fosters innovation, fuels growth jobs, and supports the economy overall. But trade is too hard. In Australia today, businesses looking to import or export can face expensive and time-consuming processes with multiple government agencies and regulations to navigate. Some processes are manual and duplicative, and the same is true for most economies around the world. This is why there are significant initiatives in Australia and internationally to make trade easier and less expensive. During our NGTAG event series, we have heard from China Customs on digital customs declaration processes. We have heard from the European Commission on digital product passports, and recently also from the US FDA on the Food Safety Modernization Act and the role of traceability in international trade. In common across all these initiatives is the need for common, proven, and trusted global data standards to ensure interoperability across businesses and governments, and to avoid non-tariff trade barriers. Today, we will hear from Vincent on how verifiable credentials have the capacity to untap huge benefits at the border, as well as the importance of standards to make them a reality and broadly adopted. So this term, verifiable credentials, I don't know why I agreed to provide a definition of it. I'm not an expert. One of the things that really helped me to understand it for myself that I thought I would share with you this morning is by breaking it up into its individual components. So verifiable credential. So what is a credential? We can define a credential as being a qualification, a claim of achievement, a certificate, or quality or aspect about a product, a person, or something. And it is declared or attested by a competent or trusted authority. So it's basically a claim. What is verifiable? Well, verifiable is something that can be proven to be true by checking the credentials issued by the trusted authority. So in essence, a verifiable credential is a claim about something or someone that can be verified to be true. And in this particular case, it can be digitally verified to be true. One of the examples that helped me to really understand verifiable credentials was to think about something that we're all familiar with, and that is a COVID vaccination certificate. It's in essence, a claim that a citizen has been vaccinated for COVID. It is issued by a competent authority, in the example that we've seen by the Australian government, and it provides a mechanism for a third party to be able to verify that claim. In this case, we have a QR code that, if scanned, allows you to verify the authenticity of that credential. Now, obviously, in the context of trade, verifiable credentials work slightly different than a COVID certificate, and there's a whole raft of standards that have been developed by W3C that provides a framework for how credentials can be created, can be shared, and can be verified. And hopefully we will learn a lot about that today.